Good evening, everyone. I must first say, to God be the glory, whom all blessings flow. I am so in love with Jesus Christ. More and more, I become more in love with Jesus. And I must say, to the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, it is a prestigious honor to be inducted into the class of 2014 with all of my colleagues. This is just wonderful. From sports, from all different facets of sports. I give honor to the man of my life, Christopher Clark. Please stand. He's over there. Oh, he's right here in front. I have to take time to enjoy this moment, because many times as athletes, we fly through different things in our careers, and it's sometimes hard to enjoy every single moment. But this one, I must take a breath and breathe it in, because it smells so good. He's the man of my life. He's the support. He is everything. He is, I can call him my Lord, like Sarah called Abraham, you are my Lord, honey. And I just thank you for everything. I thank you. To my parents, Mr. and Mrs. John Colander, they have been the wings beneath my wings where I could stand up here and get the glory, but Mom and Dad, they have been my support, my sponsors. When I first started in track and field and didn't have any clothing, won the state and Reebok Classics against other athletes that had on the Nike outfits and the spikes. But God was showing me then that you can do anything. And one thing I realized from the late Bishop Obadiah Colander, my grandfather, he always instilled in me that you are, before I even stepped out the house, he told my father, you make sure you tell her and tell all my grandkids, because my grandfather was the pillar in our family, along with my grandmother Dejani Colander. And this is where I get my roots, so I'm going to tell you my story. And I found out who I was and my identity before I walked out the house. And I had learned of all the different people from my grandfather. He said, now you have a community around you, so you can't fail. You have a father and you have a mother and you're going to get an education. And when you walk out of here, you're going to walk out of here with confidence, because you know that you are the greatest thing that God has ever created. And I said, how do you know that? He said, oh, look at your hands. You see those fingerprints? Nobody else has your fingerprints. Look at your hair. Even the hairs on your hair are counted, and God knows every single hair. He said, your DNA, no one else has your DNA, LaTasha Colander. At that time, I was Colander, now I'm Clark. And then he also said, do you know that if you were lost, do you know God created a certain kind of dog that could smell your scent on your scarf or your dress, and he could find you wherever you are? So you would never be lost. You can never give up. Because if you think about it, out of all the galaxies, out of the sun, the stars, and all the planets, God stepped down in creation in Jesus Christ, and he said that I'm going to create man just like me. And I thought about what my father has always reminded me. You have to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe, no one else in this room, no one else in this world, no one else in this nation, no one else as far as millions watching you on television is going to believe. They're watching you. They're trying to see the evidence that's in you. And so he said, if you think about it, out of all the stars, the moon, and everything in the sky, God said, I want to make something in my own image. And it's going to be powerful. And this man, this woman would be able to do greater things than I. But you first must believe. If I can thou believe that I can do anything, all things are possible. And so out of everything that he created, we are his greatest creation. We have developed so many things, Facebook and computers and technologies and everything around education with professors and all of these politicians that have stepped out and have made doors for God to show his light through us. I am in love with Christ. There's nothing that we can't do if we pull together. I remember as far as the Colander family, I always remembered that Granddad always said, he said, stick together. But if you think about it, if the world would come together just like the Olympic Games, we can do anything. But we must grasp in our minds and in ourselves that we are the greatest creation. Out of all the athletes up here, we're coming from all different facets of life. But we know one thing, and we have this common denominator, that we believe. And you're here today because you believe in us. And so I also want to leave you with this too. The University of North Carolina, my family, not only the Colander family, I thank you for your support and all of you here. But I also thank my family at the University of North Carolina and the Rams Club. Please stand, the Rams Club that are here tonight to support me. Thank you. And last but not least, in this journey of my life, I have always wanted to hopefully be inducted into the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. But the last thing I want to say is that I have a moment to thank a person, not only my parents, my father and mother. I dedicated my gold medal to my father during the 2000 Olympic Games. But I want my mother to stand, Hortense Colander. I love you. Thank you, Mom. I want to say that through everything, whether it was running at Darling Stadium, through this rain, sleet, or snow, whether I had equipment or not when I very first started running and no one knew my name, Mom made my equipment, she made my uniform. When I didn't have shoes, she said, just run to the glory of God and He will make a way. And He made a way. So I believe. Then from running at IC Norcom and then transferring to Manor, which is now, it was Woodrow Wilson. It was Manor at the time, but now Woodrow Wilson ran there for 3 years. Then all the scholarships and everything started to come in. But I ran sometimes with no equipment. I sometimes when I would get nervous and I didn't know what I was doing, I would just say, God, are you with me? And He'll give me a peace. I'll ask if He would be at the finish line when I get there, and He would be at the finish line when I finish the hurdles and never let me fall. Through the University of North Carolina, 4 years running, never pulled a hamstring, never twisted an ankle. I mean, just think about it. If you don't believe, you're going to believe when you finish hearing me. Went through the Olympic Games. Got to think about it. Graduated in 98, had 1 year, 99 to train, made the Olympic team, and only 3 people can make the team. Get one opportunity every 4 years. And I said, God, are you with me? Every step, it was like a puzzle He was putting together. He was putting the puzzle together, and I simply, the common denominator, I just said, just let me believe. I believe. Will you help me? I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but will you help me? He was there every step of the way. Never pulled one hamstring out of all the years that I ran professionally. Not one. And I just thank my sponsors, Nike, that was with me from the beginning to the end, Kermit Foster, who was with me when I first started. I thank the Kermit Foster Atlantic Coast Club. But one thing that I always remember is that God said, if you use your gift, I'll make room for you. And He has kept His word. To my mother, I thank you for everything. She is tough. She is strict, but not too strict. And she got that from the lady that's beside her, Dorothy Everett, my grandmother. But many times, my mom has never ever ran track. But many times when I would be running at the pin relays for the Nike team, and they would ask, we want a particular athlete to run the 400 or the 4x2 to make the world, we want to set the world record today. And they would pick certain athletes. And it's so much pressure that sometimes you're under that you don't understand that a lot of these athletes a lot of things that we go through that you don't know. The anxiety and sometimes fear and people wanting you to always be there 100%, show up, show up, show up. But it takes a lot to show up. Sometimes the best thing to do is to show up. But my mom, one time I was at the pin relays and I said, Mom, they're asking me to get ready to set a world record because they saw me run the 200. I don't know if I can handle the pressure. And many times a lot of people don't, and my mom she's very unique, she's rare. She has her own style, she's gonna say what she needs to say, but she always said, be tough, be who you are. And people appreciate that. They can respect that. If you're who you are, people can respect you when you're honest than being dishonest. And so she was the one, the angel. You have people in your life that push you to the next level. And if you want to get to the next level and you ask for help, it's certain people that God connects you with and they help push you. But then they get the overflow. When they push you to the next level, things start raining down and pouring down on them. And they realize that they're in a particular place at a particular moment, but they're meant to be there, but they're going to get blessed too. And so my mom, she kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me and telling me, be tough, you can make it, believe in yourself. And sometimes when I would get over to the point where I feel like I got something just pushing me, I could feel a burning sensation deep down inside, and I could feel that confidence, and I would get out there on the field at pin relays amongst all of the athletes, Michael Johnson and all of the athletes, Gail Devers, and everybody would be waving, and I realized I was meant to be here. I am confident. You are fabulous. You are awesome. We are God's greatest creation. You have the right to be who you are and to be beautiful. Who are you not to be? And thinking of yourself small doesn't help anybody else to be the best that they can be. You have to shine bright so somebody else can catch on fire. And so my mom helped me to catch on fire. And I dedicate this honor, this Hall of Fame induction to my best girlfriend in the whole wide world, LaTasha Colander.